We've got the dumbbell, octagon shape, so many exercises we're gonna be showing you with the dumbbells today. So we're using the dumbbells next, and we're going to show you an exercise called bicep curl. It's a fairly simple exercise that really isolates the biceps. We like to use this exercise to oftentimes stabilize the intensity that you're working at. But what you want to do is keep your shoulders pulled back nice and tight. Okay, you're going to keep your elbows right by your side throughout this movement. You'll notice that the hands twist in towards the hips on the way down, and right as the dumbbell passes your hips, you twist your hands so your palm faces up, and that helps you to isolate the bicep on the bicep curl. Keep a soft bend in your knees and keep your core engaged. Try not to lean back. Really keep your torso in the same spot, and that allows you to focus on the bicep. Okay, we're going to use the dumbbells again, and we're going to do an exercise called hammer curls. So with this exercise, we are targeting your biceps and your forearms. You're going to make sure that your shoulders are pulled back here. Your elbow's going to maintain by your side the entire time. You'll also notice that your hands are going to stay facing the same direction the entire time. There's no twisting movement here in your arms. Your palms are going to stay facing each other the entire time. You're going to be exhaling as you curl. Try to find a consistent breathing pattern here, but keep a soft bend in your knees and don't allow your torso to lean back. Keep your core engaged as well. We want to try to avoid allowing pressure going to your lower back, and we really want to just try to isolate the biceps and forearms as much as we can. So we're using the dumbbells again, and we're going to do an exercise called overhead tricep extensions, and we're going to use both hands on one dumbbell. You could go individually, but we're going to demonstrate two hands on one dumbbell. Okay, so first thing you want to do is get it up onto your shoulder. You're going to do that by using your leg, driving your leg up, flipping the dumbbell over, placing the weight on your shoulder and sliding both hands up to grip onto the bottom of the dumbbell like that. Now, from there, you're going to use your hips to boost the dumbbell up over your head. Perfect, because typically you're grabbing a fairly heavy weight here. You want to keep your elbows close together, slight bend in your knees, keep your core engaged. Try to avoid allowing your torso moving back at all. You want to keep it tall. Now you're going to lower that the dumbbell down right behind your head. You want about a 90-degree angle in your elbows. You're going to exhale on the way up, really trying to engage and contract your muscles to right here, the triceps, as best you can. All right, we're using the dumbbells again. This time we're going to use one dumbbell in one hand. It's a single arm tricep extension. So you'll note that Ryan's palm is facing forward. It's going to stay facing forward the entire time. He's going to bend at his elbow here. He wants about a 90-degree angle at the bottom of the range of motion. You can see he's stabilizing his elbow, keeping it pointed up towards the ceiling, not allowing his arm to move around a lot. He's got a slight bend in his knees. He's keeping his core engaged, so it doesn't allow his torso to lean back at all. He wants to keep that pressure out of his spine. Exhaling on the way up, really trying to engage the tricep as much as possible. Okay, we're using the dumbbells again. This time we've got one dumbbell in each hand. We're going to do a shoulder press. Okay, it's an overhead shoulder press. Starting with the dumbbells on your shoulders, you're going to use your hips to boost them up like that. Turn the palms facing forward. And then as you lower the dumbbells down, you're going to want about a 90-degree angle of flexion in your elbow here. You want to try to make sure that you keep a bend in the knees, and you want to make sure that you keep your core engaged so it keeps the pressure out of your lumbar spine. You can touch the dumbbells up together at the top. Try not to bang them together. You want to keep these weights under control the entire time. Exhale on the way up. You're trying to use your shoulders for this exercise, and go slow on the way back down. So we have another dumbbell exercise. This is going to be a single arm row. And what you want to do is place the dumbbell in one hand. You're going to take a nice, slightly wider than hip width stance. The first thing you want to do is hinge at the hips, drive your hips back. You're going to extend your other arm out to the side for balance. You want to make sure that you don't allow your torso to twist at all during this exercise. You're keeping a nice flat back. You never want to have the back rounding forward, okay? Notice that the palm is facing right now. And as you row, you're going to keep your elbow close to your body and twist your hand so it's palm facing in on the way up, so we can keep that elbow close to the body. The idea is to use the muscles of your upper back here. You're going to exhale as you row. You're going to inhale as you bring the dumbbell back down. And again, you want to keep this movement under control. So you really want to try to make sure that your torso is not twisting or moving around at all. Everything stays under control. All right, so we've got the dumbbells in hand again, one in each hand, and we're gonna do a reverse lunge. So you're just gonna keep your shoulders pulled back, keep your torso tall. The dumbbells are gonna stay out to your side the entire time, just to add a little additional weight to this movement. So first thing you wanna do is reach this leg back as far as you can. You're dropping your rear knee down towards the ground. You wanna make sure though that on this exercise, you're utilizing the front leg as much as possible. So yes, we're gonna alternate legs this time. You could just use one leg if you wanted to. It's up to you. You wanna make sure that you're not allowing that knee to touch the ground, and that you've got this body weight here on the front foot, so you can really utilize the glutes on the front leg to do a majority of the work. Exhale on the way up, and make sure you're keeping your torso nice and tall. All right, so one dumbbell in each hand, and we're gonna do reverse flies, but we gotta make sure that we hinge at the hips and get our body into the right position here first. So what we wanna do is, you can see, shifting your body weight back as you hinge the hips, getting your body weight onto your heels. You should be able to wiggle your toes a little bit, and you wanna make sure that you keep a flat back, no rounding forward. We wanna keep your back safe here, okay? You're gonna bend your elbows a little bit, kinda like you're hugging a barrel, and the palms are going to be facing each other. At this point, you're gonna exhale, and you're gonna use your shoulders here to flare your elbows out wide, continuing to try to maintain that same bend in the elbow. You wanna try to minimize any movement in the torso. Don't allow your torso to twist or move up and down at all. Just try to keep everything under control and really focus on engaging the muscles of your upper back to do this exercise. Okay, we're gonna do a renegade row with one dumbbell in each hand. What you wanna do first is get into the push-up position with a nice wide stance in your feet. We're creating a stable base of support here. You wanna try not to allow your hips to rotate at all during this movement. Keep as much stability as you can. And keep your hips high, don't let them sink down low. We don't want any pressure to go to your spine. Lots of core work to do this exercise. The idea is to do this without letting your body shift. So you're gonna, with one hand, you're gonna drive your elbow up towards the ceiling, and you're gonna keep the elbow in close to your body. Bring the dumbbell about up to your chest, okay? Exhale as you row, inhale as you bring it back down, and note the stability here as you bring this elbow up. You really want to try to keep the body from moving, right? Exhale up, inhale on the way down. Okay, so we've got a dumbbell in each hand, and we're gonna do a lateral raise. So what you wanna make sure you're doing is putting a slight bend in your knee here to keep any pressure from loading into your spine. You're gonna keep your shoulders pulled back, chest up nice and tall, and I want you to keep your palms, as you raise your arms laterally, your palms are going to stay facing down the entire time. No twisting of the hands, and you wanna make sure that you elevate your hands only as high as your shoulders. So go ahead and put the slight bend in the elbows, keep the palms facing down. There we go, just up to about shoulder height right there. We wanna try to avoid going any higher than shoulder height because that can be potentially dangerous. You're exhaling on the way up, and you're inhaling on the way back down. Okay, we've got a dumbbell in each hand, and we're gonna do a front raise. We're gonna alternate sides here though, so only one side at a time. You got a slight bend in your knees, you're gonna pull your shoulders back, keeping your torso nice and tall. One hand, notice that the palms are facing the hips right now, but as you raise one hand, you're gonna put a slight bend in your elbow, and your hand is gonna go twisting, palm facing down, okay? We wanna try to raise the arm about the same height as the shoulder, try not to go any higher than that. You're exhaling on the way up, and you're inhaling on the way down, and make sure that you keep this slight bend in the elbow too, okay? Keep the shoulders pulled back the entire time. Try to avoid allowing the shoulders to roll forward. So we're using the dumbbell again. This time it's just one dumbbell. We're gonna do a goblet squat. So we've got to pick it up off the ground and get it into our hands into this position. So you're gonna squat down into a good squat position using your hips to pick it up, and then you can see how you kind of flip it into your grip there, okay? Now, hands are resting kind of against your chest. The dumbbell's gonna stay close to your body the entire time, okay? Now from this position, we've got to take a nice wide stance, and we're gonna externally rotate our feet just a little bit. First thing you wanna do is start by driving your hips back and down, sinking your weight onto your heels, keeping your torso nice and tall, exhaling on the way up. Again, keeping the dumbbell right close to your body, trying to get your body weight to transfer to your heels, and you're using your glutes to drive up out of this position. All right, we're using the dumbbells again, and we're gonna do an exercise called Arnold press. So you're gonna start with the dumbbells, one in each hand, resting on your shoulders. You're gonna bend in your knees, drop down, boost the dumbbells up in the air. When you do, you're gonna turn your palms facing forward, and these dumbbells are gonna be touching together. Now, as you lower the dumbbells down, make sure you keep a bend in your knees, keep your core tight, pressure stays out of your back that way. You go to about a 90-degree angle down, and then notice you turn your palms in so they face your face like that. Then you're gonna turn your palms back out, and then you're gonna press the dumbbells back up. Okay, so it's a slow, controlled strength movement. Really try to time your breathing here and focus on not allowing your torso to lean back because we don't want the pressure to go to the spine. Okay, we're using the dumbbells again. This time we're gonna put one dumbbell in one hand, and we're gonna do an exercise called a single leg Romanian deadlift, and you're gonna have a row at the bottom of the range of motion. So what we wanna do is bring the knee up of the opposite leg of the hand that's holding the dumbbell, okay? Other arm is out to the side for balance. Your shoulders are pulled back. You're gonna have a slight bend in the knee of the down leg. And what you wanna do is hinge at the hips, and you're leaning your torso forward as you extend your leg back, trying to create a straight line from your heel to your shoulder. Now at that point, the dumbbell's hanging, palm facing in. You're just going to lead with your elbow up towards the ceiling, rowing the dumbbell up to chest height like that, and then returning back to this standing position, balancing on one foot. All right, so we've got the dumbbell in one hand and it's gonna be resting on your shoulder. We're gonna do a lateral lunge. The dumbbell's just creating a little bit more offset weight up here up top. Okay, so what you wanna do first is you wanna bring whatever hand is holding the dumbbell, that same side knee is gonna come up in the air and you're gonna wanna elevate the knee to about hip height, okay? So the knee comes up and you're gonna step out to the side. Moderate step out to the side, making sure both of your feet are facing straight forward. You're stacking your body weight over that foot. You want a straight line from the hip, knee to the ankle at the bottom, okay? So take that moderate step out of the side, slowly lower yourself down, keep your torso tall, just enough power to get you all the way back up when pushing off that foot. And as your knee comes up, that's when you want to press the dumbbell up above you. So knee comes up, dumbbell comes up. Okay, we've got one dumbbell in each hand and we're going to do a reverse lunge with a curl to a press at the bottom of the range of motion. So first things first, palms are facing your hips on both sides. You're gonna extend one leg back behind you, touching the toe to the ground, but keeping the heel high. And what we wanna do here is then bring the rear knee down towards the ground. You're gonna keep most of your body weight on this front leg. You're gonna hammer curl the weights. You're gonna press them all the way up above your head and bring them all the way back down to your sides before you step up out of the lunge. Now, as you come up out of the lunge, I really want you to focus on keeping your body weight here on this front foot, driving off the heel of the front leg and using your glutes on the front leg to do the work. The hard part about this exercise is staying low in the lunge, so make sure you continue to breathe and exhale on the way up out of the lunge. Okay, we've got one dumbbell in each hand and we're gonna do a reverse lunge with a lateral raise. So you wanna make sure your shoulders are pulled back, the palms are facing here, your feet are close together to begin, but you're gonna reach one leg back, extending that toe back, keeping the heel high, and at this point now you've got most of your body weight on your front foot, but you're gonna drop that rear knee down towards the ground, okay? Once you get down there, you're gonna move your hands laterally to this lateral raise, okay? And you wanna try to make sure you keep a slight bend in the elbow, and when you do a lateral raise, you want your hands to come about as high as your shoulders. Try not to go too much higher than shoulders. It puts a lot of stress on the shoulder. And I want you to make sure that at the bottom of that range of motion, you're not allowing the knee to touch the ground at all. Okay, we want it to stay off the ground because we really want to challenge the legs here too. Drive off the heel of the front foot on the way out of the lunge, and then make sure that you're really trying to use your glutes on your front leg. Okay, exhale on the way up. Okay, so we're gonna do what's called a renegade kickback with a dumbbell in each hand here. You need a wide base of support with your feet, okay? You're gonna keep your hips slightly elevated. You wanna make sure you keep your core engaged the entire time. This is a three-part movement, so we're gonna show you how to do it. First thing you wanna do is exhale as you row one of the dumbbells up. You're gonna point your elbow towards the ceiling and you're gonna extend, kicking that dumbbell up into the air using your triceps as you extend. This is a full-bodied movement. Everything is engaged in your body to try to help continue doing this movement under control. Make sure you breathe as you're extending up towards the ceiling. Inhale on the way down. Find a breathing rhythm that works for you, but this is about stability and control. Really try to keep your hips from sagging down low and maintain your composure the entire time. Okay, so we're gonna do a thruster next with one dumbbell in each hand. So the idea is to create as much power as possible on the way up to have your hips and lower body assist with pressing the dumbbells up above your head, okay? So first we start with the dumbbells kind of resting on the shoulders, elbows are gonna stay kind of pulled in, palms are gonna stay facing each other the entire time. You get a nice wide stance here to drop into your squat. Feet are gonna be a little bit externally rotated so we can engage the glutes. You wanna start by driving the hips back and down into the squat. Once you get to the bottom of the squat, get as much power as you can on the way up to get those dumbbells up above your head. It's that assisted movement here, right? We're using the entire body to create power to get those dumbbells up. So you're gonna exhale on the way up, and I want you to inhale on the way down. Okay, we've got one dumbbell in one hand and we're gonna do a single arm thruster. So the dumbbell's gonna be resting kind of on the shoulder there. We've got a nice wide stance in the feet, slightly externally rotated. Okay, first things first, we're gonna drive the hips back a little bit and down into the squat, and from the bottom of the squat position, we're gonna fire up out of that position and create as much power as we can to create a lot of velocity to assist with pressing that hand straight up above overhead. Exhale on the way up, inhale on the way down.